Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be giving my 30,000 mile review of the Rough Country 3-inch lift kit that I have on my Toyota Tacoma behind me, my 2020 Toyota Tacoma. So for anyone that is new to the channel, this is my 2020 Tacoma TRD Off Road premium package that I've pretty much customized. There's videos literally on everything, including the headlights with the halos, the pro grille, my rims, my tires, and my full tutorial on how to do the Rough Country lift kit. So I have the 3-inch Rough Country lift kit with the N3 strut lift in the front. So this is a replacement strut that lifts the front up. And on the back side here, we have a spacer block as well as an N3 shock to replace the factory shock. And then to complete the setup, the rims and tires I'm rocking, these are 18-inch fuel coupler rims with Goodyear Duratrax, the 275/65 R18s, which for people wanting an English measurement, that's like 32.3 or 32.1 inches. So I just reached a little over 5,000 miles now on the Tacoma, so you're probably wondering, why is this a 30K review of this lift kit? Well, this exact lift kit that I'm running on this truck right now was on my 2018 Tacoma. You can go back on my channel and see when I initially put this lift kit on my 2018 Tacoma. That exact lift kit, when I wrecked this truck, I took the lift kit out of that truck and put it onto my 2020 Tacoma. I drove with the lift kit on my previous truck on the 2018 from 50,000 miles all the way to 76,000 miles on that truck, and now I have 5,000 plus miles on the 2020 using the exact same suspension. I put that suspension on this truck with the wheels and tires at 118 miles on the odometer, pretty crazy, but now it's a little over 5,000 miles, I think like 5,500. So over 30,000 miles on this suspension setup. So I'm going to be giving you guys my full review on how it is. So without further ado, let's go for a drive and discuss that. As you guys can see down there, 5,538 miles. This is a trial of my new dash cam setup to see if we're gonna be able to use this for videos. And also my battery is for some reason is low. That ain't gonna work. So first off, because I have to go through like 8 or 9 speed bumps in my apartment complex, going over speed bumps, it's similar to anything. What the hell? So as I was mentioning before, my buddy called me, going over speed bumps, I have a lot of them in my apartment complex. Compared to the factory setup, the suspension is a lot stiffer. That's typical with just about any off-road setup you're gonna get. But the suspension being stiffer than stock is actually a good thing. One, for off-roading, and two, you don't have a lot of body roll that you have with the stock suspension from the factory. Like when you go to stop with a stock Toyota, the nose will dip pretty significantly. With this setup, the nose barely dips at all when you hit the brakes, and same thing when you go to accelerate, it doesn't shift back much at all. So a couple points here on the ride quality. One, I put 30,000 miles on it, so has the ride quality changed? No. Literally, the suspension rides the exact same that it did when I first put this on my 2018. And you'll see here, this is a very bumpy patch right here. You do feel bumps. It is going to be a little bit more noticeable than what you would find in the stock setup, especially since it is a lot stiffer. But it is not unbearable. It's not like ridiculous bumps and stuff like that. That's just due to the stiff suspension. Now, if anyone actually knows me, I'm a DJ life. So the main usage that I use my Tacoma for, this is really bumpy, holy crap. And it handles it pretty well, to be honest. The main usage that I use my truck for is to get gear from place to place, especially when it comes to pulling my trailer. I don't really off-road that much. Most off-roading I do when it comes to this truck is when I go to a remote location wedding in the middle of nowhere. So I do mudding for a little bit, but I'm not going out and off-roading this truck. And if I was buying a lift kit and suspension with the intentions of going off-roading, I probably wouldn't buy this kit because it's not really the best applicable kit for straight off-roading. But for someone like me that drives a lot of highway miles, wants to have a lifted truck and have a nice ride quality for the most part, this kit's awesome. I'm cruising on the highway right now going about 65 miles per hour, and it is smooth as can be. It's not as soft, obviously, as the factory setup, but this is smooth. Yes, I do feel the bumps here and there, but passengers that I've had in my truck, people that have rode along with me on multi-hour long road trips in this truck, have never complained about the suspension setup. So yeah, overall, when it comes to my usage of this truck, 30,000 miles now, the suspension has not changed in terms of the ride quality. It rides just the same as when I first put the lift kit on. It is a little bit stiffer than the factory setup, of course, but when it comes to actually driving, you do feel the bumps more than you would in the stock suspension setup. But when it comes to driving highway miles, it rides perfectly smooth. It's not a noticeable change when it comes to the ride quality. The best thing I could compare the ride quality of this truck to is if you have ever rode in a 1500 truck like a GMC Sierra or a Chevy Silverado from like 2001 to 2006. The ride quality in those trucks, it rides like a truck. That's very similar to the ride quality of this truck, and I know that because I used to drive a GMC Sierra 2004. Like, we just went over a little bridge passing there. You can feel the bumps, but it was smooth. It wasn't jerking me out of the seat and going nuts. Another thing I'd like to point out, if you guys are kind of listening to the audio right now, it's quiet in here. When it comes to ride quality, it's quiet in here. And that is mostly due to my selection of tires. I chose the Goodyear Duratrax. They're known for being a really good hybrid of a tire that is good for off-roading purposes, driving in snow, and also being good at driving on the road, being semi-quiet, not a loud tire. Literally, audio-wise, it sounds exactly the same as the stock setup. Mostly it's just the wind noise. So that is pretty incredible for having those nice looking luggy tires. And that brings up a really good point when it comes to your suspension setup. Your tire selection has just as big of an impact on the ride quality of your vehicle as your suspension setup. And a lot of people overlook that. My full-time job is a tire designer. I actually work for a tire company. By my choice of tires, you could probably guess what tire company I work for. But my day-to-day job as a mechanical engineer is designing tires, and we design tires around the suspension setups, and it plays heavily into the ride quality of your vehicle. You could go buy the greatest suspension in the world. I'm talking the best suspension possible out there, maybe like a stage 2 Icon setup, a great suspension. If you have shit tires, by that I mean you have big luggy tires put on a random rim and you don't have them balanced properly, your ride's gonna ride like shit because your tires play heavily into the ride quality of your vehicle. So if you're rocking a wheel and tire with a suspension setup and your ride is really stiff, try reducing the air pressure in your tires. You'll be surprised how just 5 psi lower in your tires will make a big change in how soft or how stiff the ride quality of your truck is. Now, you don't want to go too crazy when it comes to air pressure because you want to maximize the actual contact pattern when it comes to your tread with the actual road. This is just a lot of tire design stuff. Maybe if you guys are interested, I can get into more detail on tires in a future video. Let me know in the comment section down below. But just on a little recap here, 30,000 miles now, well, over 35, like 31.5 now on this suspension setup. It rides just like it did the first day I put it in. It's not the most amazing ride quality in the world. Like I said, I compared it to like a 2001 to a 2006 suspension setup on like a GMC Sierra, which is not the greatest ride quality in the world. It's by no means the greatest ride quality in the world, but it is not the worst suspension in the world. It is not terrible by any means. It is 100% a doable setup for a Tacoma, especially if you don't use it for a lot of heavy off-roading. If you just use it for a lot of casual miles, driving on highways, driving on inner cities, and you're basically using it as a truck to pull trailers, to move people around. If you're just using it like I do to basically log a lot of highway miles in between venues, to take people with me, to haul gear, to haul a trailer, this suspension setup is great. Like I mentioned, I've drove with a lot of people in this truck and absolutely no one has been like, wow, this is terrible, wow. Everyone gets in it and it rides like a truck. It rides as expected as a truck. Is it as good as factory? No, but it's not terrible by any means. But with that said, if you are someone that is looking for a suspension setup that feels like a factory setup, like really smooth, really soft, you're gonna wanna get something like an Icon setup or something where you can adjust the suspension and make it tuned to what you would like. If you want it to be that soft and you want that buttery smooth Cadillac-like ride quality, this is not the suspension setup for you. If you're looking for just a really affordable way to get into the lift game, to get yourself a 3-inch lift kit, this kit's awesome. This kit only costs $550 versus a Icon stage 1 setup is $1,500. An Icon stage 2 setup is, I think, over $2,000, which is absolutely insane. This suspension setup was $550. That's an incredible deal and an incredible value for what you're getting. But let's not overlook that I did mention that your tire selection plays at least 50% into the actual overall ride quality of your vehicle. So don't underestimate when it comes to looking at different tire sizes. Make sure you get a tire that is going to be appropriate for what you're looking for, and make sure that you get it balanced. Balancing is huge, so make sure whatever tire shop you choose, they balance your tire. So depending on what tire you choose will play heavily into the actual ride quality. I personally like the Goodyear Duratrax that I put on my truck. I'm also impartial to Goodyear, so I can't really speak too much on that. They are really quiet when it comes to riding on the highway. I was really surprised at how audible-wise you don't notice them. You don't notice them. That's pretty awesome. But regardless of whatever tire you select for your truck, make sure shop that you have put the tires on balances them correctly, and then also make sure you're running the correct air pressure for your tires. If your ride quality is too stiff, like it's surprisingly stiff, try reducing the air pressure. Play around with it and see what works best for you. Gotta say, if you have a car wash around you that does like a monthly plan, highly recommend it. I pay 20 bucks a month and I can wash my truck every single day of the week. That's awesome. Touchless washes as always, touchless. All right guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, my little review of the 30,000 miles on the 3-inch Rough Country suspension lift with the N3 front strut lift. If you would, be sure to like this video, leave down in the comment section down below what you guys thought, what you guys' opinion, what are you guys running on your trucks, and as always, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications for all the new videos every single week, and like always guys, I'll see you guys next time. Taco Rick out. Peace.